Welcome back to Tom and Jack having the crack. Every week we sit down with a comic, have some crack. This week we've got the wonderful Hubert Mayr.
Yeah, hello.
Hubert, how are you doing?
Good.
You're
Good.
back from Edinburgh.
I am, yes.
And
Yeah.
how did you find it?
Good. I enjoyed it this year. It was the first time I actually did a show.
Yeah.
Did a split bill with my housemate, Jamie Allerton.
Do you live together?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, I didn't realise that.
That's a TV show I'd pay to see.
Yeah, it's not a good...
Hoarders. Is that what it is?
Is it just the two?
Yeah.
Just the two, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good household.
Sure it is. Sure it is.
It's surprisingly mellow.
So
We-
yeah, go on.
We don't really get up too much, to be honest with you. But yeah, we did a show together for 12 nights, I think it was.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't do a full run?
No, I didn't do the full run.
Oh, fucking
I
hell.
stayed up for almost the whole time. Like I hung around after
Yeah.
we finished our show. But no, we only did 6th to the 18th.
6 to the 18. And where did you do that?
We did at a venue called the Southsider, which is, I'd say, one of the cheapest pubs in Edinburgh and one of the rowdiest pubs in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
But since they've been a venue for years, they have figured out that the best way to have it as a comedy venue is to have a room in the back and to separate that room from the main bar, which is very loud and rowdy, with a curtain. I think years of experience taught them that, yeah, that's good. That's
Oh
good.
yeah, last time we were in there, Jimmy got glassed. No, we'll keep that out. Right.
I
So
swear
we
to God,
can't-
I went there like weekdays, just like at 3 p.m. just to pick up flyers or something, and there was a lot of sniffling going on in the toilets already.
3 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of hay fever and.
So it's like that pub in...
No one from the south
Like that
side,
pub in
actually.
Train Spotting, you know, where they like first day at the Fringe.
Yeah, it was pretty rowdy, and we were allocated the last slot of the night.
What time was that?
10:45 p.m.
How was that?
It was good on weekends. We had like full rooms, really nice rooms, but we had a couple absolute stinkers where I learned too late that what you're supposed to do with a venue like that is you're supposed to flyer all day somewhere else. And don't rely on people in the pub to come to your show because you don't want those people at your show. And we had those people at our show
okay.
a few times. Well, one time there was a guy in the back of the room like just blatantly doing coke.
Yeah.
It's like,
Jamie.
Yeah.
yeah, well, I was on. It really disrupts the show, and I have to go, save me some.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just some really rowdy, heckly.
So when it was full, how many people would be in there?
About 50, I'd say.
And it was full. Jeez, that sounds... It sounds crazy. And your style is sort of low. You need them to listen to you. For it to work.
It's one of those.
Unlike other comics, yeah, I would prefer if they listened. But yeah, it's like I said, we didn't even do 2 full weeks, but like by day 5 already, my act had changed completely. 'Cause
Really?
Yeah.
You have to adjust. I had to go way more high energy,
Yeah.
way more crowd work,
Louder.
and shut people up.
So let me ask you about that because I think I had a quite similar experience as well. My time changed a lot. Did you like what you changed to? Do you think it improved stuff, or were you just doing it just to survive in that room?
No, I like it. Like
You like it, yeah.
I changed my act and I took that back to London. Like, I actually have way more fun on stage now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I think it was a really good learning experience actually that they stuck us in the pub.
Yeah, same
Well,
actually.
well,
Yeah.
that-
Fucking animals.
I suppose that's kind of what Edinburgh is about. Like you're learning new skills by being put in different situations. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys did a split bill, right?
Yeah, we did one. Where was the South?
What was that called?
Tom and Jack having the crack?
There we go.
We've got one good
Okay.
name in us, and we're ringing it out for everything. it's worth.
Marketing genius.
yeah.
Yeah, how was it?
It's good. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. I mean, it's similar to you. Similar to you guys. There's there's days where you're like, "This is amazing. This is what comedy's meant to be." You're flying. Then there's days where it's like, the 3 Italian tourists.
That wasn't bad because that was at the start. Like we had the energy at that stage.
We did. But there were days where you're like, you
You
look
just
at.
mentioned 3 Italian tourists as
We
if I
basically
should know what that means.
on our second night, only 3 people showed up, and there were 3 Italian people who lived in Edinburgh, who didn't know each other, who had somehow I don't know how. I can't even remember how they
Like
met up.
individually oh no, two of them knew from work and one person was random.
Random. So they were having like a get to know each other night out. The three of them.
And they thought they were going to walk into like a room with like 80 people.
And they were the only three. But we actually had a laugh with them. And to be honest, we basically did I had just been to Rome, so like I basically just talked shit about Rome for half an hour.
I just talked about my Italian grandmother.
Yeah.
For like,
that's good.
Like
so it was fine.
You can adjust to it.
And we wouldn't have been able to do that at the end. Like near the end, there was one show where we did cancel. We had 4 people who were 4 teenagers who were in a choir, and I was like, I'm not talking.
You pulled the show?
We did.
Yeah, I was like, I can't talk to. I have 4 fucking, songs of praise teenagers.
And there was, I should imagine they were really nice about it.
They were so nice, yeah. Lovely, like.
Yeah, I think they were buying coke off Jamie later, but they were great. It's so true. Like the end of the run, how did you feel you changed attitude-wise from the start of the run to the?
Honestly, for me personally, The Fringe made me fall in love with comedy again, because I was really not feeling it before going up, and I was like, let's go up for a jolly to a split bill, and I absolutely loved it. I had such a good time. Even like the bad shows were a good learning experience, and I came back and immediately started writing my solo hour that I'm going to do next year. So
brilliant.
Yeah. So it was a overall like just a great experience to do it, but we had a couple. We didn't pull a single show. Yeah. And there's 2 that we should have.
Right.
One of them was, they weren't like a bad crowd. There was only 6 people, but they just didn't want to laugh.
Yeah.
They were like nodding. It was like, oh yeah, that's a punchline. Yeah. But then we have one where we really should have pulled it. Like on our flyer, it says with Jamie's name, it said like Liverpool Echo comedian of the something. And so this Scouse couple saw that in the pub, and they were like, "Oh, he's from Liverpool. Let's go watch that." Like older couple, they sat in the front row, and then there were only 4 more people.
Yeah,
and that was it was such a bad show.
Wow,
and we just bombed. Like nothing worked, no crowd work, no nothing. I mean, there wasn't a crowd; it was 6 people.
Yeah,
just bombed so bad that Jamie was on last, and he went, normally I'd do a bucket speech, but fuck it. Like, keep your money. Like, sorry, we did this to you. Sort of. But I still wanted to stand there with the bucket, like, just in case, Maybe one of them enjoyed it.
You never know.
Yeah, so I stood there with the bucket, and that Scouse couple came on. And like the guy who'd been staring daggers at us through the whole show, he put a tenner in the bucket. And then he said, "I just want to make sure you know that this is not for the show, but I think you guys need a pint."
What a legend!
Yeah,
kind of passive-aggressive legend.
Yeah, it was very insulting, and we did have a pint. It was all right. And there was one night where we were going to pull the show completely, because I do remember that Monday where it was just pissing it down like crazy.
Yeah.
We were watching the Liverpool game in our venue in the pub, because it's a sports pub, great comedy venue, and it was just pissing it down. We were like, you know what, it's a Monday night. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going flyering in this rain.
Yeah.
So if no one turns up, this is the one that we're gonna pull. And then I don't know, randomly just had a full room.
Mad.
People showed up, like when the Pleasance let out, like people just wanted to get out of the rain, and they were looking through the Wee Blue Book, the PBH one. And they saw our show is like nearby, the south side is nearby, so they just came there.
You were near Pleasance?
Yeah, Pleasance is just a 10-minute walk.
Yeah, I think I walked by that pub, and I remember
it's had scaffolding in front of it for about 5 years at this point.
Yeah, it's sort of
I think it's like load-bearing scaffolding.
It's kind of out of the way a little bit, isn't it?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. I think I walked by it.
Yeah,
south side.
Because that randomness you're talking about, like, do you remember Luke was saying that he ended up cancelling?
I can't believe that. Yeah.
Yes, like Luke Chilton was saying that they were right next to us, so we saw them every night now, didn't we? And they had their biggest night the Sunday. They'd sold. They just like, fuck it, we're done. We're just gonna have a night off.
Is that Luke and Alfie?
Luke and Alfie, yeah. And they got a text in the venue saying like, "Can you come? You've sold out." And they were like, "Nah, we're having a beer."
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. But you
They just didn't do it.
they didn't do it. They were the other
That's
side.
such a power move.
I know.
They were the other side of town, and they were at a show. Like, I don't think they'd even, by the time they get over there and everything.
Oh no, of course, yeah.
But it can happen. Like, we had a night where
Hey, well,
I think we got. Did we get 14 people one night from next door?
Yeah, when
Yeah,
Paul Curry,
He sold out,
Yeah.
or he didn't know. He there was one night where he didn't perform, and a load of people showed up. They didn't know he wasn't performing that night.
oh yeah.
So we got 14 people from that show one night. So that was great for us. Like,
and they were great crack as well.
and they were good.
They were
Yeah.
great crack. Yeah.
So they had they were like they were
You get-
people
you
who
get the
who had
reject.
had a couple of drinks, thought they were going to a big comedy show.
Yeah.
So they were in the right frame of mind. They were perfect to perform to, really. You know?
yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect. We we did one extra show where, because we were in the same venue as Alex Haddow, and she had the 5 p.m. or 5:15 or something was her show, and she couldn't do the last date of her run. She was going to do the same run, but she couldn't do the last day. So Jamie and I just took over the slot. There was a bunch of people showing up.
See
expecting
Alex.
to see Alex, and we did a whole different show to them. It was all right though. It went all right, and we got them. We filmed them, basically chanting that they're glad that Alex isn't there.
That's the highlight. That's the highlight.
And did you do many compilation spots as well, or not really?
Yeah. This was actually the first time. Well, it was the first time I did a show, but like, there's no better feeling than doing like an. I did Quan Wen's comedy with an accent.
That was on very
a
early.
few times. Yeah,
Very
it was
early.
11:40 a.m.
Yeah.
And doing that show, like I did that show one day and had a good set, and then like 4 people showed up to our show in the evening because they saw me at the compilation show, and that's like the best compliment you can get. I
Yeah.
think that's a really nice feeling.
yeah.
Yeah, I did that a few times. I did Wrong Comedy twice.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You're ideal for that. Yeah.
It's fun. You can say some shit that just the back pages of your notebook where like, I hope no one ever sees this, and then you can say it out loud, which is fun. Did that, and Tom Mayhew had a really good one at what's the venue called? Cabaret Voltaire.
Oh, Cabaret Voltaire.
Oh,
yeah,
that was a lovely venue,
I
He
was
did
doing
it
the Irish one
for
there.
charity. Raised over £2,000, I think, over the run. It was a really, really fun compilation show.
Wow. What time was that on it?
3 p.m. I
3 p.m.
think. Yeah.
Just for people listening, explain what wrong comedy is.
Okay, well, Wrong Comedy is sort of like an Edinburgh institution at this point. Bob Walsh runs it and has been running it for, I think, like 15 years at this point.
Right.
And it's billed as, you can say whatever you want, like it's offensive, sweary, Larry comedy.
And he gets good audience. There's a
There's
market for that. Like,
there's people that go back every year a few times because it's different acts every night, and it's really just say the most horrendous shit that you can think of. It's not like offensive, like it's just like dark and filthy stuff.
Yeah.
And it's really good. And this year was the first year he got complaints.
I thought,
from
what
audience members.
was the complaint about?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. He never said, but there were like 3 complaints that actually went to the French Society or something and said, we went to the show and they said some horrendous stuff. And it's like, well, it says that on the flyer.
Says it, yeah. Have you ever, like you do dark, has anyone ever called you up on anything?
No. No, we had one walkout during our show, but I'm still not. When I did that joke, I did a joke about how I was stillborn.
Someone walked out.
Yeah, this couple walked out at that point, but they'd been hating the show all the way anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that
was the joke,
hit home for
yeah,
them.
yeah.
Or so, but that made me feel so bad. I completely reframed that joke now to a completely different, so that no one could feel offended by it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Can't say anything anymore.
just 3 white guys complaining about what we can and can't say. Welcome to podcasting.
That's right, baby.
No, but I think with you have such like you're very likable. I think you have this like dark side, but you're very
Thank you.
likable on stage. I can't imagine anybody listening to you.
No,
like,
I've never had any complaints about
Yeah.
it. It's not. It's just dark stuff. It's not nothing offensive there.
So yeah, because you're not picking on anyone. It's not hateful.
Pick on myself.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And it never feels like you're like, oh, this is so edgy. I'm trying to do an edgy bit. You've got, you have got this very like
It's nothing unleashed about my comedy.
nothing.
Very leashed.
Very leashed.
Yeah.
Someone should set up that night. We're in East London.
Comedy
very,
leashed.
Very leashed. Very leashed comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and also there's little tricks. I crack up at my own jokes on stage, and then like that always like releases the tension.
Tension too. Yeah.
I think, I don't know what you reckon. I think as long as they know you're being silly, they'll, even if they don't like laugh, they'll let you get away with it. And
Yeah.
Oh yeah, comedy's all about getting away with things and saying things like. But there's a huge difference between being hateful and you know, dark stuff. Like everyone acts like they don't know what the difference is. We all know what the fucking difference is.
Exactly.
Like people that complain, you can't say certain things anymore. Like, what is it you want to say?
What does he want to say?
What are you holding back right now? And fuck off.
Yeah, and if you can't, if you're not at a level with you that you can't handle a topic, 'cause it's like, you know, people do like high wire acts on whatever. And it's like, if you're at a level where you can only be off the ground like 100 feet, like don't fucking try and walk between the buildings. Like if you can't handle a big scary topic, like just fall anyway.
It'd be funny.
Just die. Just die anyway.
To be honest, like I came to England when I was 18. I went to university in Brighton, and like you know, there was a lot of kind of slagging and joking about being Irish, like, and people would, you know, shout at me in the pub, potato, 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 and stuff like this.
I've apologised since.
But like, it was very. Most of the time, 99% of the time, it was banter. It was having the crack and all
that
that.
was great banter.
But there was a couple of times where someone was definitely being racist towards it, and it was very easy to tell the difference.
Yeah.
It was very, very easy to tell the difference. Like, do you know what I mean?
I wouldn't know.
Austrians have no history. Austrians have no history.
No one thinks on you. No one hates on you.
No.
The French must hate you.
We've never done anything. We just keep to ourselves.
ever since the thing.
French. No, the French hate everybody.
Well,
equally.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
The Germans hate us. No, they don't. We hate the Germans. They don't even think about it. It's like that scene in Mad Men.
Yeah. I hate you. I don't think about you at all.
I don't even think about it. Which, And come here. And did you move to England to do comedy, or you just happened to be here and you started comedy?
The second option.
You just happened to be here, yeah. So why did you come to England? What was the appeal for you? The culture, or?
Oh man, I don't even know anymore.
You were
I came here to have like just a year abroad.
Right.
Moved here with my girlfriend at the time, and then we broke up shortly after, and I just decided to hang around. I was like, oh, okay, no, I'm single. I'm going to experience London as a single man for a bit. And now it's 11 years later. I'm still here, still single, baby.
He's really committed to the bit.
Oh, God. And are you on the apps? Are you going dating and all that?
No.
No?
No. Also, I don't want to do dating app stuff.
But do you go on dates? Do you go? You still? Nah.
No, I hate dating. I deleted all the apps.
Do you find it's really hard to like actually do it with comedy as well? With like actually find a schedule a night?
I find dating. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, obviously, you're constantly tired, and when you have a night off, you don't want to
actually go out.
I just set a date with a girl for the 19th of October. Because that was the next time both of us were free.
That's ridiculous.
Wait, what's today? 23rd of September.
That date won't go ahead. That won't go ahead.
Are you still chatting with her now? Like, do you like?
A little bit. It was a setup. So it was actually another comic very kindly was like, I think you guys would get on. So
really?
Like, introduce you.
Really?
Crac's like, somebody thought they'd get on with you. Jesus Christ.
No, but I always think people who do that, I always think it just takes a lot of kind of bravery to go. I think the two of you get it. It's a risky. For the matchmaker, it's a risky move without any reward. I think so. Yeah.
Oh, it's a hilarious prank.
No, I don't think it's but I do think it's sort of like, you know, you could lose a friendship, and actually, if it goes well, you're not going to fucking gain anything. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm too callous. I'm too. I think like there's the person who do this is weighing up the risks. What are the pros and cons of doing this?
Occasionally in life, people just do nice things
for no reason. I know. It blows my mind. You know, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with people. You know what I mean?
What's in it for him?
How are they so naive? You know? Grow the fuck up. What's wrong with
If someone tried to set you up, you'd be like, what's in this for you?
What's going on here? What's this looking?
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
But I'm Irish. We've a right to be suspicious. You know, many a man showed up on a horse, promising us shit, and before we knew it, we fucking lost everything.
and this was 1997.
We're gonna make your lives better. Woo! Oh fuck! Here we go again.
Ma, he's left the fucking magic beans again. Fucking hell.
I think it's a bit arrogant to play matchmaker.
Well, here we go.
Because like you're like, oh, you two would get on. Like, how would you know?
It's a bit patronising,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's a bit. Oh god, I hope I don't know this person.
Well, I've got you completely figured out, and that person completely
Yeah.
figured out. So I know that you guys would
would work together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like no.
Yeah. No,
I've got I've got stuff that people, that people don't know.
I've got stuff.
Stuff in my freezer. Hope the police never find. You wouldn't know about that. You know?
In your accent, it just sounds so much more threatening. I've got stuff.
Yeah.
No, it's true. That is definitely an angle that you could take, that someone being arrogant. But I think it was just, because he was like, you know what's interesting? It's how you get
It
described.
was a fella as well.
It's a guy. Yeah, it's a guy who helped. Yeah.
Wow. Like.
I completely.
I don't know,
I
it's
got
a-
mixed up there for a second.
I would like it's more a girl move than a guy move. Matchmaking.
I know what you mean, like emotionally empathetic. Yeah. I'm with you. Yeah. So this guy, I'm fascinated to know what he's told her about me, because his description of her, I've got she's a good-looking girl and everything. And he was like,
I've got pictures.
I know. I stopped saying that. But
I have
going out of my mouth. I didn't get sent them. I've got them.
Oh, yeah.
But he said to me, she's really quirky and interesting.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, exactly.
Why do?
Because quirky and interesting. If she's like, she's kind, she's funny, she's quirky and interesting. That's very different
Yeah.
to your lead attributes.
Quirky and interesting is the equivalent to cozy in like when estate agents describe a flat.
as
If
cramp.
it says cozy, you're not going to go on that viewing because it's going to be a shoebox.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
And if someone says, "Oh, she's very quirky," she's insane.
Yeah. And because
Insane.
the qualifier to quirky was interesting.
Yeah.
It's not like quirky and fun, quirky and kind, quirky and funny.
Oh, you're definitely not going on
Quirky
this
and
date now. You've blown it now. So yeah.
Interesting is a weird one. What do they like? It's interesting.
All it made me think was how.
Go on.
All it made me think was how he described me to her.
Yeah.
Because
Interesting and quirky.
exactly, 100%. I'm thinking the exact same thing.
Interesting's always a great adjective for someone sees someone's comedy show. What was it like? Oh, it's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Good. Interesting.
Yeah.
It was a
I
show.
love what Steve said last week. The worst thing anyone can say, brave.
Yeah.
The worst thing anyone can say when you get off stage. Very brave if you do that.
Yeah. I mean, if it's specifically about a set you just did,
Yeah.
that was very brave.
Did you get
You
any?
just went up there without any jokes.
Did you
Yeah.
get any nice compliments or feedback from audience members when you're in Edinburgh?
Yeah, I got some good ones. I think the best show we did was on a Saturday night, a completely packed room, and this old couple had shown up. They were going to go see Cherry Sadowitz.
Who's he? Didn't hear anything about him.
Couldn't go because the show was cancelled.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So it was that day when it was announced that
Right.
the show was cancelled. And they showed up at ours. They loved the show. And they said to me afterwards, "Oh my God, you're the next Henning Wayne." And I'm like, I don't want to be that.
Yeah.
But it was a very nice
That's
compliment.
such a comic answer.
Yeah.
That's such a nice thing to say. You're like,
Yeah,
"That is
no,
my
I
style."
didn't say that. Like, obviously, said I appreciate.
No,
it.
you said that plus another 2 to 10 minutes
Yeah.
of why you don't want to be him. To the point they were like, "We have to go."
And he's live at the Apollo set. Why really?
Yeah, no, it was a really nice compliment.
That's great, man.
Yeah, we had some good feedback. We had the guy who gave us a tenner to
Have the couple of pints.
have a couple of
The
pints.
best
Shut
thing
up.
about that story is that he thinks a tenner can buy you 2 pints.
Can in that pub.
In Edinburgh.
In that pub,
Ah,
in that pub.
In Edinburgh, it would.
Yeah.
$3.50 for a pint in that pub.
Really?
That's how we fly it. We shouldn't have done that. we went around and just told people they can get cheap drinks at that pub.
Oh, God.
I was like, we're inviting an audience that we don't want.
Got cheap drinks in a very lockable toilet.
Well, we did a compilation show a lot that was on at 10:20 in a similar in a really crappy
Which
pub
one was that?
in the Bunker, and it was
What was the show?
It was
the
called
Irish?
The Good, the Bad, and the Irish, yeah. And the shows, some of them were wild. Like,
do that?
fucking
How Irish are you?
wild.
Not enough. Jack got me in with the Irish.
He
mafia
was
when
enough,
we
he
were-
was enough Irish.
when we were there.
But some of them were absolutely wild. There was one show, this was unbelievable, right? It was a compilation show, and there was one show, there wasn't that many people there. And the second guy was on, he was doing grand. Like, he was doing, it was one-liners, like maybe, I know at that time of night, they don't really like one-liners. But he was doing, like, most of the audience were into it, he was doing well. And this guy just went, fuck off, you're not funny. And I swear to God, everyone was just like,
That's some instant feedback.
oh man, it was unbelievable. Like, the
He was a
atmos-
one-liner guy.
What?
He was a one-liner.
One guy.
yeah, like pretty new and.
Oh, then he doesn't have the tools to deal with that.
Oh yeah.
But it came out of nowhere.
It came out of nowhere. No one saw it. And the bit that was mad was like the atmosphere was just, everyone was like, oh God, can you imagine going on now? But the guy who went on, Quinn went on,
Yeah.
and it ended up being brilliant. He does some kind of dark jokes, and he did a dark joke, and the only person who laughed was that guy, right? And then Quinn goes, oh God, the most horrible person in the room is the only one who likes my jokes.
And do you know what's so funny about
And it completely changed the atmosphere back then.
Because that guy, I remember he was actually the guy who heckled was actually a really nice guy.
Yeah.
And his girlfriend was furious at him. And remember in the bathroom? I think one of us bumped into him.
I bumped into him afterwards, yeah, and he bought me a drink, and he was actually really apologetic. He said he just didn't know what came over him.
How weird is that?
That must have been one of those intrusive thoughts where you just
Yeah.
sat there, what if I told the comic to fuck off?
My theory on it
Yeah.
is, I think the whole night was so wild that he just somehow thought that
Yeah.
was what everyone, like, he just thought,
like that
I
guy
think
in
he
your-
thought he was at King Kong or something.
It's like that guy in your friends group who takes it too far. You
Yeah.
know, when you-
yeah. Someone
Yeah,
little snap, someone with a chair.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
we were all slapping him. Not with a brick. He's a brick.
Yeah, so
you-
you make fun of someone's jumper and they go, well, at least my mum doesn't have cancer. And all right. Jesus Christ.
That's exactly it.
You know the maddest one I had though was I had a guy who I did a gig, and he just he was talking, and I ignored him, and then eventually I couldn't ignore him anymore, and I had to go right in on him and say, listen, you're gonna have to shut up or you're gonna have to leave. Like, you're just ruining this.
Yeah.
The bouncer came in and everything, and I got to turn the whole audience against him. Everyone's like, do you believe he's gonna shut up? And everyone's like, no, and everyone's like, shut up, like completely turned everyone on him. And he came up to me afterwards and he goes, listen, I'm really sorry about that. And he took out his phone and he went, where are you gigging next? I'll come and support you. And I just heard that. I was
the
like,
last thing you want.
no offense, but I hope I never see you again, ever.
You know, it's mad, I think, the number of times you get a heckle, something like that happens, and afterwards they're like, I loved you.
Oh my
I
God.
loved your set. Do you remember the gig we did for Mark Farr recently? The where was it? In Leighton.
Yeah.
And there was I was emceeing, and I'd done a bit of crowd with a guy who's a banker.
Yeah.
And after a
this
while,
is
I can't remember why she piped up, but maybe I asked like what the woman he was with.
Yeah. So
on, you go.
you asked this guy, what does he do for a living? He said he worked
Banker.
in private equity,
That's
private
right.
banking, right? And then you asked her what her name was, and then you moved to another couple and you asked him what he did, and you asked her what she did, and then this woman went, I love the way you didn't ask me what I do for a living.
And
You just assumed I live off him.
And the crowd went like, ooh.
I was like, he's done. He's done. He's finished there.
She's like really said it with her chest, and then gone like, love the way you assume I just live off him. Big ooh. And I went,
Oh,
How'd you
everyone's
deal
like,
with it?
woo.
I was like, no, I just presumed you had a boring job like him.
And then everyone's like, ooh.
And then I was like, go on then, what do you do for a living?
You
And
should have
she's
gone
like,
to him and gone, like, control your woman.
Oh,
I might as well left the pub, mate, if I'd done that.
Yeah,
So I doubled down. I was like, so what do you do for a living? She's like, civil servant. I was like, see, I was fucking right.
it was an unbelievable piece of drama. Like everybody in the room was like, oh yeah, he's done here now. And your comeback, oh yeah, you pulled yourself out of that.
But then afterwards in the bar,
Sound.
they came and bought me a
Yeah,
drink.
yeah.
They were like, we loved
No,
it. Like,
yeah.
like, you know.
They were lovely as well, like, you know.
Yeah, they were.
I suppose for some of these people, it's like, do you know what I mean? I've spent all my life having thoughts and wanting to jump into conversations and wanting to say something, seeing something that happened, and just never having that bravery to cross the line. And you brought it out on me tonight. And I owe you so much for that. Finally, in my life,
came out of my
I'm
shell
speaking
tonight.
up when I shouldn't. But you triggered something in me.
I think that is
They're
so
going
right.
to work the next day. I'm not putting up with any of your shit. You can fuck off.
You can keep your stapler, Janet. Shove your TPS reports up your ass.
No, I won't make you a coffee and get you a sandwich. You get me one for once. For fuck's sake.
Next time you see them, they're homeless.
And then they're like, thank God.
You're the fucking comedian. You did this.
No, because I spoke up once at work. You bastard, Jack Hester.
But people are like that. Well,
Like that.
no, like they heckle, and it seems like they absolutely. I just want to disrupt the show, everything, and then afterwards they're like, "Oh, I absolutely love the show." And I was
Yeah.
like we had. I think I said the best show we had was on a Saturday night. It was in terms of numbers, and it was great. Like you couldn't go wrong. Like they laughed at everything. But then that Monday night where we were gonna pull it, it was actually in terms of how I feel about how it went. It was the best show. And we had all these people filing in that we just didn't expect to turn up. And they were all nice people. And we were like, oh my God, we have a nearly full room. And then the fun thing about that venue is there's the curtain that leads out to the main bar area. And right opposite that curtain is the Chents. And so constantly people from the pub come back, like stick their head through the curtain going, "There's a toilet."
Oh, the toilet, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this guy was like, well, where's the toilet? And then I just pointed him towards the toilet. He was shit-faced. And he just turned around and was like, what's happening in there? And I was like, oh, we're doing a show in about 3 minutes. And he was like, I'm going to come in. I was like, oh, God. He's going to be an issue. And he was. He brought a friend in. They sat right in the middle of the room. And just from the first minute, heckling.
Oh, God.
And it was such a fun show because we took the piss out of that guy so much. At one point, he gave me the finger. It was the show mostly revolved around that guy and his mate who kept falling asleep. It was insane. Like at one point, they were both asleep.
In the we had one or two people who fell asleep.
They sometimes took a break from heckling to have a quick nap.
Yeah.
And Jamie was on stage, just doing his normal set, and then he spotted that they were asleep. And he was like, "All right, let's wake them up."
Yeah.
And then someone nudged them basically to wake up, and Jamie was like, "And that's when I killed the third hooker." It just did. So they woke up to something horrific.
Roman, you any good heckles when you were in Edinburgh?
Oh, did I? No, you know what? I didn't actually. I didn't have any heckles. Everything that happened. In fact, no, the worst heckle I had, if I'm being totally honest, it was because we were doing a gig in the bottom of a burrito restaurant.
And burrito and shake.
Yeah, we were doing our whole thing was at burrito and shake. So
Famous comedy venue, burrito and shake.
Burrito and shake. So we were getting heckled by the staff. We were basically getting heckled by the staff. Like they would come out of the little restaurant area, and they would have like little bags and like cases of like beans and all sorts of stuff. And that's genuinely the worst heckle I got. It was just from people walking in and out of the restaurant.
But you did your show during the day, didn't you?
We did, yeah, we did ours. It was about 6 o'clock in the afternoon. To be fair,
yeah,
that's like a good time.
That's a good
slot.
time,
Yeah.
like, because 9 o'clock in Edinburgh is like 2 in the morning because they're drinking all day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I think anything after 8 p.m. you can get like a rowdy crowd.
Yeah, I think our funniest kind of heckle was, I suppose it wasn't really a heckle because it wasn't bad. We went out one night, my uncle was over, and we went out and had like the biggest bender night we had the whole time we were there. We were out till 5, 6 in the morning, chatting to loads of people, having shot. You know, one of those nights.
Yeah.
Right? And a group of lads that we met on the night out all came to see our show then the next day. Like they showed up and they got there late, so we didn't get talking to them beforehand, and they came in. And we quite a busy room that night. And I was dying, like, and I got nearly like powering through, and I was getting near the end, and then I just sort of took a break and was like, whew. You know what I mean? I was like, phew, had a rough night last night. And then one of them goes, he was a lot funnier in the pub last night.
And he goes, he looked at his watch. He almost involuntarily went, Jesus, I got 7 minutes left. I won't do that.
No. Then I was like, how long have I got left? And one girl goes, you have 7 minutes left. And I went to her, I might cut it short.
These Aussie lads who we met the night before, he sort of looked like he was like about to wind up, and he just went, his uncle's called John, and just went, tell us how John did last night, mate. How did John pull up? He ended his set by just reading text.
Brings the text messaging stage we had that morning. Everyone was getting really into it. Like.
'Cause it was like a little drama, wasn't it? Right, is John okay?
And then he wrote, and then I wrote. It's like a play.
Have you ever performed drunk?
Oh Jesus! I've performed blackout drunk. I've seen videos of me performing that I don't remember performing.
Yeah, God, yeah.
Yeah, have you had that too?
Yeah, I have
Oh,
videos
Jesus.
from. I can't fucking say this. I think the first time I did the Comedy Store, I was definitely drunk on stage. So
Oh, were you?
yeah.
No, I've never done big gigs.
It's a 5-minute video I have that I've never used to send to promoters or anything because I can tell.
That you're drunk.
No one else can tell.
tell.
But I can tell.
Yeah.
Well, no one would know until you fucking said it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, open mic gigs.
Go on,
Some
Eddie.
open mic gigs, but I've never done a big gig. where I've
Yeah.
been
No, that was the
like-
only one.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
other than that, yeah, it's open mics
Yeah.
and stuff.
Open
Also,
mic.
like with your accent, nobody could tell. It was fine. It's like, no, it's just our Austrian sound.
Yeah, drunk.
Yeah. They always fall down on the floor and sleep
Yeah.
mid-set. It's
I
fine.
think it's the accent, but we are genuinely drunk most of the time.
But there are some of the big acts do polish
Booze
a
it
good
up.
bit of a drink on stage, like, you know. I think Doug Stanhope.
Oh, famous for it, yeah.
He's putting away a fair bit, isn't he?
Yeah. It's like, I don't understand how guys like him and Bert Kreischer are still alive, still doing it. Do you know what I mean?
I
Like,
mean, Stanhope is baffling. I mean, there's stories that I've heard on other podcasts, not this one,
Yeah.
we don't slander
about
here.
Stanhope.
Yeah.
It's genuinely just an insane life that he leads. He's always drunk.
Yeah, like tequila to wake up, and yeah.
Yeah, he's always.
Yeah, but
drunk.
there's you do know there's lots of alcoholics out there, like, you know what I mean. There's loads of people living like that who actually
Functional.
might have to do proper jobs as well. Like, so it's kind of stand up is kind of an easy job to be an alcoholic. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're looking for,
Yeah.
like, it's a lot easier than being a bus driver or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to be,
Absolute nightmare job
it's a
if you're
good
an
way to earn. If you want to be an alcoholic, like, it's a good way to earn a living. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
See,
kids
if
watch.
your ambition is to be an alcoholic,
alcoholic, yeah.
don't drive a bus, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get into stand up.
'Cause it feels like it's like you're either not either, but there's quite a lot of teetotalers these days, aren't there?
Yeah.
And quite a lot of
Yeah, I think
funky
there's
junkies.
always been there used to be always kind of a thing that stand up was like kind of the reserve of the recovering alcoholic. Now, and allegedly, you always have to say that, like, allegedly, I think, like, so Frank Skinner's a recovering alcoholic. I think Frankie Boyle is a recovering alcoholic.
Yeah, Frankie Boyle.
Tommy Tiernan quit drinking for the 10 years where Tommy Tiernan made his name. He didn't drink. He now does drink again. Like, he does a great bit about going, how he didn't drink for 10 years. And he's like, he says that he tells a story about where he was out on a boat and he nearly drowned, and he was out in the sea, like, holding on to this boat waiting to be rescued. And he said all that he was thinking was, you haven't drank for 10 years. That's fucking, you're not going to get that time back. You know what I mean? If you survive this, like, go have a bit of crack. Like, you know what I mean?
That's great.
Like-
Like you have a near-death experience and it's a wake-up call to start drinking.
But you know, I had a kind of a similar thing, right? After I finished university, because I went university, you just drink. You drink too much at university, like, absolutely, like. And I drank too much, and by the end of university, I was just sick of drinking.
Yeah.
Like, and so I kind of quit drinking for a couple of years, and I ran marathons. And at the start, I got really into it. But I remember running the Paris Marathon. And I was running around Paris in this drizzly grey day, and I remember thinking to myself, what the fuck am I doing? Like, you know what I mean? I should be out
Running past the
you know what I
cafe.
mean? I should be out. I'm in Paris. And instead of being out fucking drinking and having the crack with French people, I'm fucking running by homeless people, pissing behind bridges at fucking 9 a.m. in the morning.
That'd have been a hell of an interview on French TV. Like Jack's pulled over and just in a brasserie, just having a beer. They're like, what is happening here? You're like, I just thought to myself, I should be having a fucking. I've stopped the running now.
You know when they're like stopping you. Which charity? Who are you running for? Which charity? Oh, your mother died of cancer. Who are you running for? I'm never running again. It's a load of shite. I can't believe I got tricked into this.
And you can shove your TPS reports up your ass.
This is great. Like, epiphanies.
Epiphanies, yeah.
When you're doing well and you're like, what am I doing? I want to go back to boozing.
Yeah. Well, I think Frank Skinner actually said it. He said there's nothing like it. You know, but what's that guy, Birch?
Bert Kreischer.
I'd seen a clip of him where he talks about that he goes through like periods, probably only a couple of weeks, where he actually he lives healthy, he goes to the gym, he eats well, just to get himself prepared for those big nights out. Because he's like, nothing's better than
balance.
That. Yeah, balance. Yeah.
Yin and yang.
I think he's that guy. On podcasts, whatever, he'll just talk like how much you can tell the way he talks about liquor.
Yeah.
He doesn't just like a drink. Like you ever seen there's like John B. Keane interviews in Ireland? There's this Irish author where he's talking about like, I don't just love the taste of whiskey, I love the plop of ice in a glass. I love the sound of it. Like
the smell.
Yeah.
The noise the cap makes when it's put on and off.
Yeah, that kind of shit. That kind of shit. And his wife's in the background.
The delirium.
If that's what you're, if that's what you're into, you probably have a fairly healthy relationship with alcohol. Yeah. If you're like, oh, I like when the ice hits the glass, you know, and you pour the little bit of whiskey that you're gonna have. It's different to like, I just love the sound of a special brew can opening.
Whiskey's funny. I can't remember who said this to me recently. They said, like, I don't normally drink whiskey, but I went to a pub and I decided to have a few whiskeys. And normally if I have a couple of beers, I like chatting and having the crack around. But I had a couple of whiskeys and I just sat there quietly contemplating life. Like, you know, was you telling me that?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
sounds like.
Do you know what we did? Do you know what we did though, which was a great idea? Any night we had low audience numbers, we gave them all a free shot of whiskey.
Oh, that's good.
That was a nice touch, like, and it just made everybody. So it's just sort of like before the show started. So it's just kind of like, I suppose it makes them feel that they haven't been too badly conned.
Yeah,
you got a nice shot at whiskey. You know.
Yeah.
I went to see a play.
Man.
No,
Revelation.
Okay, here's why. Because they were clearly struggling to fill the room that day, so they were just papering the room. So they just walked around giving away tickets.
Right.
And it was called The Lighthouse, an immersive drinking experience. That was what the show was. It was basically a musical, and they gave everyone shots of Jameson all the way throughout.
Throughout the whole thing.
Yeah,
amazing.
that was pretty good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that.
Yeah,
can't remember the play.
Can't remember the play.
But yeah, no,
so how many shots did you have?
Like 4.
Fucking hell, yeah, that's a lot.
Over,
good.
Over an hour. That'll like
it is
4-star.
That is definitely
was it anything like
cheesy.
the Lighthouse movie? Have you seen that movie?
No,
Have
nothing
you seen
like
that Brendan Gleeson? That one?
No. William Dafoe, I think.
Dafoe.
Oh, and Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
No,
That's
that's nothing
strange.
like that. It was the musical was about a bar in New York that had to close during COVID. That called The Lighthouse. It was all right.
Sounds like an excuse for some American.
4 shots of whiskey. Still quite a long play.
To be honest with you, it sounds like you needed those shots. Yeah.
I really did that night. Yeah. I know people don't. Well, sometimes you get reviewers at split bill shows. Did you get anyone in?
Yeah, we had reviewers. Yeah. Did
Really?
you? We had ridiculous. But go on.
You had a reviewer.
We
didn't.
We had one.
We didn't. I didn't want one.
Well, we said we had one reviewer who the review finished with the show lacked an narrative. It would have been good for the two lads to explain how they met each other and how they know each other.
Yeah, that review, it's opened with, there was a bar in the venue, wasn't open, that was disappointing.
Yeah.
What venue are you in?
It's in the caves.
It's
you were in the
it's a
caves?
room that
Yeah.
can be. I think they hire it out for weddings and
Yeah.
private parties. So there's a bar there, but it's only like when you hire.
Yeah. So he was upset about that, and he was like, "It's called Tom, Jack, Havin, the Craic, and they're not on stage at the same time." And that was upsetting.
Thought we'd be on.
That was in the
stage.
review.
Yeah.
And the review was like 150 words, and it's like 50 words on the bar being shut, 50 words on the fact that we weren't on stage at the same time, and then 50 words on like, I don't even know how they know each other.
Was there a rating?
2.5.
Yeah.
out of 10.
Yeah. Out of 25.
It was, if you read it, it was like we were the first people to ever do a split show on it.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like,
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, we had an honest bit of audience feedback. After which we realized we really should make this more of a show where we talk about exactly that, like that we live together and all that stuff. Our show was called Missed the Boat, and the concept was basically that we're in our mid-30s and we've fucked up our lives, and basically what to do to get to that point.
right.
Yeah. It was called Missed the Boat, and we finished it, and we were there with the bucket, and one guy, just another drunk guy, this young guy comes out, and we just overheard him say to his mate, like, yeah, it was good, but they didn't even talk about boats.
Ah.
Yeah, so after that we were like, okay, let's explain the title when we start the show for people like him.
Now, to be like, some show titles are very misleading in Edinburgh, in stand-up in general. Like, do you know what I mean?
I mean, yours is perfect for a split bill where you just do 2 sets.
Yeah.
That's Tom and Jack having the crack. That's fun. I mean, I don't know what that guy expected.
I don't know. Yeah, we started to explain it to
Called
everybody.
having the crack.
We started to explain it to everybody after that, and everyone's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see people crabbing like, oh, okay.
Okay, all right,
That's why.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, well, Luke and Alfie just calling it hot new talent. Like, that's good when it's not a show, you know.
Yeah.
When it's just a split bill with.
So, have you decided when you're going to work on a solo show now? Have you decided what you're going to call it?
No, I have. That's actually what I'm going to call it. No.
There is, there is no boat.
There is no boat.
No, I'm still thinking about it. I'm still thinking about whether I should highlight the fact that I'm from Austria.
The next
It's like,
Henning when
it just makes you
stand out.
stand out.
Yeah.
I don't like leaning into it at all. I just want to talk about whatever I want to talk about. But I gotta tell you, the Hitler reference is fucking kill.
Yeah. Well, for
So I don't.
for marketing, I think you have to lean into your like. One thing I learned in Edinburgh was like the Irish acts all lean into and it just
works, doesn't it?
works for marketing.
It's a layup for people to understand the show.
Just people to get a bit of a sense of what it's going to be about. Like,
Yeah.
because when you're completely
The
vague,
Aussies do it too.
yeah, everyone does it because when you're completely vague, people they've no frame of reference.
Yeah, I
You
think
know,
I might
yeah.
have to do it
Yeah.
from a marketing perspective.
The Dark
to
Knight.
get like an international audience in, but that's a bit. I want to run a compilation show next year as well, and it's really annoying because like the Australians do it, like Dan Muggleton, like,
Yeah.
AC/DC comedy thing. The Irish do it, like there's
Yeah.
Irish nights.
Yep.
I can't. I can't do a themed night like that.
Why? Not enough Austrians.
I mean, you can if you do Austrians in the bunker. You have to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the
Do you know any Austrian comedians?
There was a girl once. You know who I mean. There was a girl.
Irish
that was,
accent sounds like he's gonna launch into some.
doesn't
tale.
it? I know, totally.
there was a blonde girl. She lived here for a while and then she went back to Austria.
Oh, Cat.
Cat, yeah.
Yeah, but she lives back. Yeah, she's back in Austria.
Back in Austria. But also, like the Irish, what would you call it? Like the Irish compilation show I did was called The Irish Invasion. The Austrian invasion. The Austro-German invasion.
Just Polish people walking out like, no.
Comedy annexation.
You could do a compilation show with people from Brexit countries.
Brexit
And
countries.
and just like every country in Europe that effectively would have had to go home from after Brexit, and then just call it like the Brexit hit list or something like that. And just get one person from
Yeah,
each
that
of those
could work.
countries.
But there's definitely compilation shows. Like there was one called just Comedians of Europe. That was
Yeah.
Globe Bar.
Austro-Hungary Empire. Would you get enough with that? Or?
Nah, probably not. No.
Also, you don't want the kind of audience that attracts. Like, I wish we could go back to this. This was
I
good.
could. Maybe just Germanic countries.
Germanic countries, yeah.
Nah,
So
I'm not
you-
gonna do it.
so-
So I want to run a themed compilation show. I'm just thinking about
themes?
maybe just shit jokes.
Yeah.
Shit jokes.
Shit jokes.
So are you going to go back next year then with your...
Yeah, I want to. I wasn't. I went up this year thinking this is the last time I'm gonna go to Edinburgh because it's expensive. I
Yep.
just wanted to do a show once, even if it's just a split bill. and then I came back thinking I'm going to do an hour next year.
Yeah. It revitalized. And did you do much partying when you were up there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you were delayed. When the minute you told me your show was at 10:45, I was like, he didn't go to bed before 6 o'clock once.
No, but yeah, generally, you never do. Like if you have a, you never go to bed early. Like if your show's at 10.
Oh yeah, because you got
You
adrenaline
finish at
and everything.
11:45. Then you want to hang out a little bit.
Yeah,
after.
to come
and you're
down.
never home before like 2 or 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And then that becomes your new normal, and then you come back having actual jet lag. It's like weird. Like
Yeah, I had a bit of jet lag.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Jamie and I said like, oh, this is more of a jolly anyway. I mean, how serious can we take a split bill, really? So like, we went a bit too hard the first few days. Well, let's ease off a little.
Yeah.
And where were you heading out?
What?
Where did you go? Like,
Oh no, we just drank at like the industry bars and stuff like that. We didn't go to any like clubs or anything.
clubs, yeah. So which industry bars?
Well, either the Loft, or
Which that's the pleasant one.
Gilded Balloon.
Yeah, Gilded Balloon.
Then
Oh, the Gilded-
Pleasance.
The one we were up.
Oh, the Loft.
Brooks
Oh yeah,
upstairs.
Brooks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you did a bit of schmoozing and networking, did you?
Nah, I didn't.
No.
I hate it so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd be good at it.
I hate it. I was at the Dave industry.
Oh
bar.
yeah.
Wasn't invited to it, but I was there.
Yeah.
I was Jamie D'Souza.
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
Officially. But yeah, there's really big acts there. Like you stand at the bar next to Phil Wang. Like I would never want to suck up to any of these people. Like I just don't want to do it.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you do that?
No, well, not really. Like we didn't get to many of the industry bars because there was some nights where I was doing 2 shows at 1 a.m. Like there was 2 Irish compilation shows from 1 to 2, and you could open one and close the other one. So I just spent most of the time drinking with the Irish guys, and we had the odd night in the lot, but very little, like very sporadically. I actually had a very interesting bit of networking. I was talking to one of the biggest agents in comedy in the world. Didn't realise it was at the time.
I think you told me that one.
Yeah. And she told me that she couldn't hear because of the sound had changed in the room. It become like a bar, and she needed to take her hearing aids out to readjust them. But she couldn't be arsed. And I said to her, well, I'm not worth listening to anyway. And she was just like, I can't hear you.
Man, that makes me wish I had a hearing aid. I could just turn off.
Well, my granddad used to have hearing aids, and he used to he'd be reading the newspaper, and my granny would be shouting at him, and he'd be like, she'd be like, he can't hear. Like she'd be shouting, pop, right? And then my dad then could be like 2 rooms away. Do you want to come for a pint, Pop? Yeah. And my granny was like selective, saying that he had selective hearing, like, you know what I mean? He didn't have any hearing problems.
It's kind of cool, like having a hearing aid, 2 hearing aids, and you can just tune out whenever you want.
Well, it's mad that you can adapt them now.
Yeah.
To when the environment changes, like that's pretty cool.
That feels like a Curb Your Enthusiasm episode waiting to be written. They just get like a fake hearing aid. It's like, I can't. I'm sorry.
Sorry, yeah.
Sorry, I'm just.
And the fact that you can't see them now too, like they're so small, they're implanted in your ear.
Yeah.
You know.
You're talking about hearing aids all of a sudden.
What well?
We're a very inclusive podcast here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're getting the old Taparoonie.
You've recorded for 52 minutes.
Okay.
So you got about 5 minutes left.
5 minutes left. Anything you'd like to add before we leave, Hubert?
Can I plug something?
Yeah,
of course you can.
Since you told me that 2 Northbound.
You told me all my decisions were bad.
2 Northbound doesn't get people in. I'm doing my first work in progress at 2 Northbound in November. I want to say 23rd. I'm going to look.
In November. Yeah, have
Go
a
for
look
it.
there. Have a look there.
Is it
What day of the week is it?
That's a Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday. What time?
I will tell you. 23rd of November, yes, at 9 p.m. at 2 Northdown.
23rd of November, 9 p.m. I might come.
a tickets on the North Down website?
Yeah.
And what's what they're looking for? Hubert Mayr?
Yeah, it's just called Hubert Mayr, work in progress.
Hubert Mayr.
Yeah.
Work in progress, 2 North.
Literally before we started this podcast, Jack told me that you can't get people into.
Well, I did a show there, and with all of these work in progress shows, like I think there's a lot of trial and error, and certainly with different festivals, there's a lot of trial and error, because there's plenty of people who will hire you out a room. But you would.
Yeah, you're on your own with promotion.
You're completely on your own, and unless you have a social media following, it's very hard to get anybody into those rooms.
Yeah.
There are some places and there are some festivals that if you book a room, they'll get people there, like.
Yeah.
And they are very hard to find. And when you do find one or two of those places, I don't tell anybody about them.
That's the way to do it.
I have a little black book.
Yeah, it's
Jack's secret
generally-
success.
No,
Same when you
it
start
could
a
be wrong,
gig as
but
well.
I suppose with these things, like they have mailing lists, but I guess it's like Edinburgh. Sometimes there's other factors at play, like that you can get work. And I'd imagine the day of the week is a big factor, and
Yeah.
the time and all of these type of things. You know,
All right, still 2 months to go.
you still got 2 months to go, and you can come up with a marketing
Yeah.
strategy. And look at you work in finance, you can throw some money at it. You put a 10 grand budget behind it, and
Working in finance doesn't mean you have money.
yeah, fuck off. Not buying that. Well, no one's poor in finance.
Yeah, I would disagree with that. Like, but
You're going to be like this guy on fucking. Do you ever see this guy on Questions and Answers? He's like, I'm not in the top. Did you ever see that?
Oh,
guy?
that fucking guy.
He's like,
who's
I'm on
80
50.
grand.
I'm on 80 grand a year. And
guy
everyone's
on
like,
Question
it's
Time.
like I'm in the poor half of the country, and everyone's like, what?
Got 80 grand.
Get him!
And he's furious about it. Like, do you know what I mean?
No, I'm not on that much. Can I plug one more thing?
Oh,
'Cause,
yeah.
you know, we run gigs sometimes.
Yeah.
Jamie.
Never been invited to
Alex.
do any of these gigs, but there you go.
Oh, we didn't think we could afford you. We've started a new material night on Monday nights at the Queen's Head in near Piccadilly Circus.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah. So.
Oh,
we've
because
got-
normally your gigs are very north.
Yeah, so this is a super central venue. It's really nice, but we've only just started. It's on every Monday night at 8 p.m. And if any of the listeners want to see, we get good headliners, like
Yeah.
bigger acts, just trying out 15, 20 minutes of new material, and then you get 4 other comedians doing 10-minute spots. And obviously, I'll have you 2 guys on.
Hey.
And Roman.
And where is the Queen's Head?
It's just off. It's on Denman Street. It's just off Piccadilly Circus. Like it's a 3-minute walk from Piccadilly Circus.
Oh, it's across the road from Picture House
Yeah.
Cinema.
Is it? I don't know.
Denmark Road.
It's next door
We got
to
it.
some West End theatre. I don't even know. It's a nice pub.
I think I know it. It's near Mousetrap or something. No,
No, that's in Covent Garden. But I think we
It's
might.
in London.
Yeah, we might get into the root of your promotion problems though.
Yeah, we have a gig. It's on sometimes at some fucking place. You figure it out.
Well,
Queen's
you
Head
used to
Piccadilly
have this
Circus.
thing about you wanted to be the gig with the most dropouts.
Yeah, we did that once.
That was your whole thing.
Yeah,
you
we had
you
that.
book a load of acts and then you try and
Well, we had a night at the Stag's Head
Oh, yeah.
in Hoxton, and we did a dropout special because other promoters always bitch about when people drop out, and we were like, oh, let's do the opposite. And we booked like 60 acts and encouraged them all to drop out. And we were hoping they would all drop out, but like 3 acts showed up, and we had to do a gig. It was horrible.
and you run quite a lot of gigs. Your gig in the cinema is a good one, is it?
At Genesis Cinema in Mile End. Well, the last one we did is because they asked us to put on another one. The first one we did there was basically to help them out after the pandemic because it's an independent cinema.
Cinema, yeah.
And we just needed a small budget from them to pay the acts, but they get to take all the ticket money
And
bar
bar.
takings. And we did another one, but like it didn't. The last one, it didn't work, and they took ages to pay us. So
Well,
I'm like.
Yeah, what are the acoustics like in a cinema?
We did 2 gigs in actual cinema screens. The first one was in the big one, like that. It's like 1,000 seats. It's like insane, and it was height of the pandemic, so like people had to sit one apart. Like only every other row could be used. It was all right actually. It's just because there's speakers everywhere. It worked, but obviously the room is designed to absorb sound, so you don't get like insane laughter in there.
Momentum.
But yeah,
Hard
and
to
then
get
we had
momentum.
We had another one in a smaller screen that went really well. So it works it can work in a screen. But then the last one we actually did in the bar area because they didn't sell enough tickets.
Okay, very good. Right, we're near the end of the podcast. Tom, any final words?
No, just make sure you book me for some of your gigs, Hubert. That'd be great.
And well then,
That's why they invited me.
what were you going to say there?
No, that was it. That was it.
And it's final word, Hubert. You'll go back to Edinburgh. Would you recommend Edinburgh to up and coming comedians or?
Yeah, absolutely. As a learning experience, absolutely. I wouldn't recommend going up and just doing spots. That's what I did 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
Well, 18 and 19. And you just don't feel like you're part of the fringe. Just do a free fringe split bill. It's the most fun ever. And you learn so much. That's what I would say.
Very good. Well, great to have you, Hubert. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Cheers, buddy. That was great. It's been Tom and Jack having the crack. Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh,
That was fun.
that was a bit of crack.
Yeah,
There was
that
a few
was fun.
nice
That was good.
volcanoes there.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
They get sweaty, don't they?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hubert, that was great, man.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, guys.
That was a lot of fun. Cheers, Roman.
I was worried we weren't getting enough
I was laughing my head off the way to start the day.
enough laughs in there, but
No.
Like a couple of great clips.
You don't have to have laughs either. Interesting is good too.
cheers, guys.